Hey everybody, it's Tammy with On Point Accents and Designs. Today I'm going to sublimate a tumbler for you. So this tumbler, I'm going to show you how to wrap it and we will sublimate it. This is one that I've already done. It says Nurse Life on it. And so we're going to do one from scratch here in a second. And sorry, my glasses are glaring. I have this blue blocker stuff in my prescription glasses, and so the lights make it look kind of like I have purple eyes and a glare. So I apologize, but I have to wear my glasses in order to show you how to do this. So it's printing out right now. Once it finishes printing, we will get to work. Okay, so we have the design printing out on the Epson EcoTank. And once that's printed out, I'll show you guys how to wrap the tumbler. Okay, so we've got it all printed out here. You probably can't see my whole head, that's fine. I just want you to be able to see what I'm gonna do. So what you're gonna need is some heat tape, some alcohol, something lint-free to use with the alcohol. I'm just using napkins. You're gonna need your sublimation transfer. I printed this out on my EcoTank and I use Cosmos ink, and you see it comes out, it looks a little dull, but once you put it on your mug or tumbler, whatever shirt, whatever you're gonna use, it's gonna brighten up. You're gonna need an extra sheet of paper so that you don't get ink on your press. Let me see, put the alcohol over here. You're gonna need some sort of paper trimmer, whether you use scissors, whatever you wanna use. You can go ahead and use it. And then, so let's get the tumbler out. This comes all wrapped. Of course, you wanna take off the plastic top. Just set that aside. I'm gonna put this plastic aside also. And then we'll clean it in a minute, but first, let's just kind of, this is an 8.5 by 11 print. So what you want to do is lay it down and see how much you need to cut off. And I will put the measurements down in the description for a tumbler, but basically you're going to have this much left over, and you don't want to tape that like that. You're going to want to cut it. And any of this white area, you want to cut off, because you know, white is going to leave a line, a white line on your print. It's not going to look good on your mug or tumbler, whatever you're doing. So let's go through and evenly cut off the white part first. And then we'll see how much, let's see. First, let me see. All right, so when I hold it up to my tumbler, I see that it is about a ½ an inch that needs to be cut off. So you want it to be even. I'm gonna put this in my paper cutter and I'm gonna cut off about this much, whatever that is, like a half of a half. And then I'm gonna measure. So still need to cut off a little bit more, which is good because I need to cut that white part off, because you don't want the white part to show on your mug. It will leave a line and it definitely will not look pretty. So that's perfect. Let me cut off. All right, so you can, you know, you can actually just print it to the size that you need it to be. It'll be much easier. And then you just cut off the white part. But I wanted to do this just to show you in case you get a design, or you just, there's some way that you want, something that you want to do that's not fitting in. So what I normally do is just kind of put my mug down, or tumbler, right in the middle like this, and I make sure that it is from side to there's enough on the bottom, and then there's enough to cover on the top. And once I do that, I usually will pull this forward and then pull this forward. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this back so that I know how much to cut off. So I'm gonna cut the white part off of this edge, and then I'm gonna cut the folded part off. You could use a pen, you know, to mark where you want to cut off. I just find it easier just to lay it down and to fold that part back if I'm doing a design, you know, that's like this, that isn't a specific template. But you could, you know, just make a template in Silhouette Studio, or if you were using a Cricut design space, you could just, you know, fit it to your template, which would be easier. I'm just kind of showing you in case you have one that's like this. Okay, so I cut off all the white pieces, and I measure. So you just want to make sure that your measurements are perfect, or else you will not have a good looking end product. So I'm going to fold this back just like this. Set that aside for a second. And then we're going to cut that. I'm going to turn it this way just because I can see the line a little bit better that I want to cut. And there we go. I got this, where did I get this paper cutter? I got this at AC Moore, which we all know AC Moore went out of business, so you can get them anywhere. Michael's, home, you could get it on Amazon even. Okay, so perfect. So now what we're gonna do, that we've got our measurements, is we're gonna take the alcohol and we're gonna clean, because if you have any dust on here, it's gonna turn a funny color when you heat it up, and it's not gonna look good. So I also left my gloves in the other room, so I'm gonna run get them really quick, because okay, I'm back. I went and got my gloves, and so I'm gonna clean this again. Just clean it really good. Make sure it's dry before you tape your paper down. And like I said, if you use a template, it's going to be a lot easier than doing it this way. I just kind of wanted to show you how to do it if you didn't have a template to go by. Alrighty, so I'm going to move my gloves out of the way so that you can see this piece of paper. I'm going to set that up there for a second. Okay. Make sure there's no dust on the table, because we don't want dust on our project or ruin it. Okay, so what we're going to do is get out our tape. And I have my tape right here. This tape dispenser thing is nutty. I got it from Amazon. I have no idea how to use it, so I only use the side over here. And I just store my tape there. I just got it, so I haven't had a chance to learn how to use it. And whoever heard of having to learn how to use a tape dispenser anyway? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna lay our tumbler down just like that in the middle of the design. This is how I do it. And pull it up and kind of pull snug, and then I'm gonna roll the tumbler towards me, and then I'm just gonna set it up, and then I'll set it back down in a second. But I set it up for the reason to make sure that it is even and covering the entire tumbler. And it is, as you can see. And then there's a little tiny bit of overlap on the back, but not much at all. We just don't want a lot of overlap. And so we do want it to be even. And we're gonna tape it up snug. So we're gonna hold this down, and then we're gonna pull this as tight as we can. And we're gonna start, I'll show you how I tape. Gonna start taping, and what I usually do is, if I could get the tape to pull, is I will do the middle right here, across like that. Okay, so that helps me, and it's snug. I'm gonna use my glove here because the glove is tacky and it will hold it in place. And I'm just gonna do that in 3 places. I'm gonna do that in the middle, at the bottom, and at the top. And everybody tapes a little bit different. Doesn't matter how you tape, as long as it's taped well. And so I'm gonna lay that and pull this way. Remember, we're always pulling it towards the seam here. And then what I'm gonna do is tape right down the middle like this. So I haven't pulled it off, even off my tape dispenser yet. And I don't want any bubbles in it because that can mess up my design. And so I've got that tape down pretty good. The tape is flat, and I just go back over it and smooth it out because you want it to be flat. And okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the top here, which is kind of hard for you to see, but I'm gonna go around the top edge, and I'm gonna just smooth it down and fold it over. Smooth and fold the tape. I'm not using don't be afraid to use the tape. The tape is not expensive. Use as much as you need to get your design down as well as possible. So I'm going to do that here also, and smooth it down. Remember, make sure there are no bubbles in it. No bubbles. Smooth, smooth, smooth. And then I've got that one little piece that I should have cut a bigger piece, but doesn't really matter. Some people don't tape their top edges. I did not with that other mug, and it's because the background was white, so I didn't think it really mattered. I guess it just depends what you're doing. And then I'm just gonna go around like this and smooth it because I want it as smooth as possible. And then we're gonna do the same thing to the bottom, and don't worry about using all this tape. This tape is cheap. Use as much tape as you want to use. I was gonna sublimate a Outlander tumbler for you guys. I'm not selling Outlander tumblers. I'm not crazy or anything. So I don't want to get shut down. I just love Outlander, so I was gonna make one for myself, but I didn't cut it well enough. So on the bottom, so that you can see, I'm just going around just like this and tucking the bottom down. Can you see that? Just tucking the bottom down with the tape. So I'm gonna go all the way around doing that. And then you just want this part to stay smooth, you know. You don't want any seams or buckles, so just make sure that you're even. And then you could even, like right here, I don't like the way that looks. See that? It's kind of funny. So I'm just going to tape all the way across here. And that's fine. However you want to tape. My mug press is a Transpro Plus mug from Proworld, and it did come with the 30 ounce tumbler, 20 ounce tumbler attachment, which is all one piece. And sorry, I'm gonna have to use my scissors here for a second. And it came with a 15 ounce also, but you can buy other attachments for it. You can get like the little wine one. You could get you know, the cone shaped ones. So a lot of other add-ons that you can get with this mug press. I haven't, because I haven't had it long. You guys, I just got it. I had been using my mug press that came with my heat press and that's what I was using. So I'm thrilled to have this now. This is like, love it, big time here. I was like a kid in a candy store when this thing arrived, like a kid waking up Christmas morning or something. I just got it a few weeks ago. I was so excited. You would have thought I won the lottery or something. So, just gonna, you see how that piece is sticking up a little bit? I'm just gonna go right over that again with a piece of tape. And like I said, the bottom, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I like it to be all the way around a little bit so that no white is showing on the design. Okay, so that piece that's kind of buckled up, what I'm gonna do is take this piece of tape, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna smooth it down with my thumb and go all the way across, and then there's a piece there that I'm gonna do the exact same thing with, and then we're good to go. Y'all, this tape dispenser has got to go back. I can't deal with it. It's the worst tape dispenser ever. It's not even sharp. Don't buy it. Okay, so this is the piece. I'm just making sure that I get the right, and I'm gonna pull it. Remember, put it down, smooth it, and pull tight. And there we go. Okay, so let's get to pressing here. Okay, so let me reset the timer. So what I'm gonna do is the timer, I'm gonna set, oh, be quiet. All right, I don't wanna, okay, so the timer, I'm gonna take it down to 52 seconds. And I'll tell you why, because you have to adjust your tumbler in the middle of pressing. So I'm only gonna do it for half the time, and then I'll flip it, and then we'll restart again. So let me move you guys closer. Okay, so remember I told you I had this extra sheet of paper, and what that is for is, I don't tape it to my tumbler or anything. You can. Well, you know what? I think I will, just because I got everything else taped well. Let me just tape this extra sheet of paper over it. And all it is, you don't only have to put one piece of tape. It's just so that you don't get ink inside your mug press. Because you know the ink can go through. So you just want to be real careful. All right, so we've got it wrapped. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put it in. And remember where, all right, so that part I'm putting up, the piece I just had the tape on, so that I'll know when I want to when I'm ready to rotate it. And we're just gonna close it. And it automatically, this one starts counting it for itself. And it comes with this glove, but only one. And this glove is so gigantic, ginormous, that I generally don't use it. I use my other gloves. I'm gonna put one of those gloves on because I am clumsy. No joke. I am a klutz. I'm constantly getting bruised, tripping on stuff, all kind. I'm really am a klutz. So we're down to 20 seconds, and then we're gonna rotate. You guys, I love this machine, but let me tell you what I love. Proworld has the best customer service I think ever. I emailed them about a question I had, and they were back to me in a flash. They have even, here we go. We're gonna flip it. I'll finish telling you about that in a second. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, you don't have to take it all the way out, but I am. And that piece that I had up at the top, that's why I'm taking it out so I can show you. I'm gonna put that all the way on the bottom because that piece didn't get heat to it. I'm gonna slide it all the way in and close it back up. So they emailed me back like immediately. And then they set up a call a few days after I received this to talk to me, just to talk to me, to see how I liked it, if they could help me with anything, did I have any questions. I mean, their customer service is fabulous. So I would highly recommend Proworld. I would highly recommend. I even told them I am impressed with your customer service because I've had some customer service issues with another company, but I'm not going to name any names. And I think in general, customer service is pretty slack in today's world, but these people are on top of it. Love them. All right, so we're getting down to 5 seconds. We could unwrap the tumbler at this point. I'm going to open it, but I am going to just shift it. And the only reason I'm taking it out is so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to shift it. Just going to do it for like half the time of what I would. I'm going to shift it again, and then we're going to take it out. You don't want to overcook it. So I do it on this one, I do it on 385, and I do it for 110 seconds usually. And right now I'm just doing extra on as I turn. All right, so we're going to flip it. And just make sure you're not moving the paper because you will get ghosting, and ghosting is not pretty. For anybody who doesn't know what ghosting is, it's when the design shifts a little bit, so you have like a shadow of the design and the design over it, and basically your project is ruined if you get the ghosting. It doesn't look good. All right, that's enough. So we're going to take that out. I'm going to take this out of the press. Whew, that is hot. Hot, hot, hot. I am kind of impatient. I will say I'm impatient. I am. And I like to open things up like immediately. And I have burned myself. Okay, so we're going to set that down like that. And put my other glove on. Let me move everything out of my way. I might need my scissors, so I'll leave those right there. This is just that extra piece of paper that we had on top. Let's just take that off first. And it is better to take the paper and tape and everything off while it's hot, because let me turn this off because I'm not going to use it anymore, and it keeps setting off my smoke detector up there. That's funny. So we're going to go ahead. But anyway, it's better to take it off when it's hot, because if you wait till it cools, it kind of can stick to it a little bit. And then you might have a little bit of trouble getting it off, and you'll have to use like water and that kind of thing just to try to get all of the paper off. Oh, this is so hot. Oh my gosh. I might have to wait just a second, you guys. All right. Be careful when you're pulling it off because it's hot. And if you shift it, you're going to get ghosting. And you don't want ghosting. All right, so I'm just undoing the tape that I had at the bottom. I'm pulling that hard, undoing that. And I might have to take my gloves off. I'm obsessed with sublimating mugs and tumblers. Like, obsessed. I gave every single person in my family a mug for Christmas just because I wanted to make mugs. I don't know if they liked them or not. They said they did. And then I make myself I don't even drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I do drink tea, hot tea. But I make myself mugs. I make myself tumblers. My husband's going to have to start giving them away because we're running out of storage for them in the cabinets in the kitchen. He said, if you're making stuff, just give it away. All this stuff that I've got in there that I've been making. And of course, here we go. All right, you ready? I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. So excited. Oh, you guys, it's beautiful. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It turned out, and it's not hot anymore. Look how beautiful that is. It turned out so pretty. And you barely can see. In fact, right there is just tape residue. Let me get that. And I wanted to tell you about that. Sometimes you do get a little bit of tape residue that you need to wipe off. And I usually just use soap and water, but I'm having soap and water right here. So I'm using a little bit of the alcohol. All right, so I probably need to get some soap and water to get that off. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. It turned out so pretty. And look, it's all the way up to the top. You can see, not inside, but just on the top lip. And then on the bottom, goes all the way down the bottom. And it's gorgeous. It turned out perfect. You can't even see. I'm trying to see if I can tell where, you can see a little bit of where the seam was, but this is like almost perfect. Like you barely can see any type of seam. And like I said, if when you get that tape residue, you just wipe it off. But it turned out just gorgeous. I just love it. I think you will love doing it. It's a lot of fun. Easy way to make gifts, or if you're selling things. I have these in my Etsy shop. I think I only have one right now, the nurse one, but definitely Arbella's tie-dye, so I need to put this in there. And you know, if you wanted to put a name, all you have to do, if you have silhouette, is you just type the name in and leave it in, you know, white, and then just use your crop feature, crop it out. So when you print it out, it's gonna have like Tammy in white. If you wanted to have a name in another color, you just type it in that color. You know, remember to mirror. If you're putting this particular design, I didn't need to mirror it. But if you're putting a name, remember you need to mirror it when you're printing. And yeah, that's about it. So, okay guys, so that's a wrap up. Be sure to look at the next video coming up. That is where we're going to be sublimating these little car coasters, and I'm going to show you exactly how to get it to fit perfectly. You can get these on Amazon. They're flexible. They have this rubbery stuff on the back. They sublimate great. So if you want to see that, keep watching. Thank you.